Right, sweet pies. I just woken up and I thought, hey, let's record a video. I didn't even look at myself in the mirror. I mean, good morning, everyone. I was thinking yesterday about how powerful is, and it's been in the healing, the power of manifestation and how to actually manifest things. And it's not as hippy dippy as it sounds. Um, there's Dr. Joe Dispenza talking about this a lot, but actually, it's such a powerful thing that we need to learn how to actually use it. And yeah, so basically, applying this to the healing process, I remember I used to basically visualize that I was healthy constantly, like over and over and over again. I was denying, and I always been denying that I was sick and just saying I'm healthy over and over and over again. But then the thing is, that was not enough. I actually had to feel it. And that's the complication about this. We are electrical beings, the universe is electric as well, and we resonate as magnets. Everything is like that. The hard thing is that when you're feeling like shit, basically, and you feel like you're gonna die, you don't really know, or you're not very much able to feel this. So to feel it, what I used to do is go back in time and think of the very good moments I had in my life and moments where I felt really energetic and really good and amazing. And that brought the feeling, because otherwise, obviously, I felt like I was dying, so I couldn't do that. This is a very, 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 very powerful thing to do. Um, when it comes to other matters like, money, love, whatever it is, it's really hard to imagine and feel um, that you are in that state of abundance or whatever the hell it is, because that's the abundance, actually, the capability of being able to imagine and create these things. But it's not just about just sitting there watching time go by, like all Buddhist and all these kind of religions and new wave stuff says, and just sit there and wait for the universe to bring it to you. This is not how it works. You actually need to act in the physical matter, you know and resonate and be what you want to become, or where you want to be. And this is the hard part. This is really hard. The thing is that, once you actually become it, things flow easily. You don't have to. We've been really lied to that we need a lot of effort, and that with a lot of effort and a lot of work, we're going to get things done, and we're going to, get to where we want to be. And that hard work, for instance, brings incredible, like the results. Not necessarily. The hard work is in here, nowhere else. Everything else in the matter that gives you a lot of effort. I mean, people that work many hours then are not necessarily the richest ones, are they? So, there you go. So what I used to do in the worst moments, just basically lying in bed and all this, I used to basically think, right, okay, I'm gonna try to visualize this over and over again, but actually I need to go back in time and remember those times where my body was feeling amazing, where my mind was feeling amazing, and I was feeling really happy, and that brought a smile to my face. That brought the feeling. And that's when things started shifting, when I could finally not just imagine it, but actually feel it, even though my body at the time was, you know, I wanted to die, and I was, everything was painful and it was horrific. But if you are able to do that constantly, and even obviously you're going to have horrible moments and shit moments, and they are not there to deny them, but you can actually choose whether to take things in a certain way or another. That's the choice we have. That's the real choice. So if you're, you know, capable of doing that, and just seeing the situation and saying, right, I can go down and cry and just, get in this horrible spiral of hell, or I can change it and think, right, what can I do? Gonna try to take this as an opportunity to train my mind to be able to do these things. And I believe a lot of the horrible almost decade that I live and all this disease one of the biggest lessons that teach me is exactly this, like teaching me how actually how energy works, how the universe works, how reality works. Because we think reality is something that happens to us, and actually reality is something that happens through us. So the way we see things, the way we shape reality is going to be totally up to us in a way. This sounds really terrible when you're living a disease, and you feel like you're going to die, but you have that moment. If you manage to get that spark of light and see this in a different way, that's when things change. And for me it was huge. Obviously I had a long period of time where I was obviously complaining and being in a dark hole. This causes neuroinflammation, therefore you are not capable to use your mind as you would. So that makes things even harder. But if you manage to do it, if you manage to actually do this constantly, that's where we become magnets, and the body responds in the same way. The body listens. Our cells are made, and we're made of water. Water, as the Japanese guy, I can't remember his name right now, Emoto, basically. He was showing how this memory in water is there, and if you repeat something over and over again, it obviously is going to come into reality. But it's not just about this. Obviously the mouth, the words have a huge impact into it. So I understand when you're at your worst, especially with neuroinflammation, you need to get all the crap out. And the crap out comes in the form of, complaining, shouting, whatever the hell happens, because all that was inside of you. And when these neurotoxins hit your brain, they're gonna come out this way. It's obvious. You're not, once that's out, the rest of the time, that's going to be expanding over and over again while the inflammation keeps lowering. You're going to be able to start doing what I just said and just processing things like imagining yourself being incredibly healthy with a clear mind, living the life you wanted to live, or actually building one with support and the things you need, um, not being fearful and thinking that you actually can feel it, that you can feel joy again. So if you are unable right now, because you've been, I don't even know, 9 years, 10 years, sick, whatever, to remember how it feels to feel that joy, surely there must be a time in your life that you can actually remember when you were, I don't know, when you were little, whatever the hell it is, that you can go back to and feel that joy. This is the best way I find to start retraining your body and remembering and telling your body that you can feel that joy again, that you can be healthy again. So, this applies to everything else later on. Because later on, you're going to wake up, well, you're still not fully there. There are some things going on. So, you cannot live like a normal best person, let's say, but you can start building things also to make your life secure so you can live and maintain it and find the right support and ways. And to do that, you're going to have to do the same operation. You're going to have to use the same power that you used to heal to create your new lifestyle, to create a new life, even if you come from below zero, like I am at the moment, So start building from there, and you'll see that, yeah, the survival part was the first one, but now comes the how you're going to maintain it, how you're going to live. And then in here, in this bubble, it's not just about health anymore. It's about, like everyone else, like like love, where are you going to live, you let's call job if you like, or passion, better said. Because I believe in the first place, most of us got sick because we were so far away, apart from toxicity, and that's obvious. We were so far away from our true nature in all senses, like out of nature, probably, out in contact with our true passions, with what we wanted to do in this life. So obviously, to regain your health after a decade of hell, you have to build a lifestyle that aligns with this. And to do that, you're going to have to use this same power of manifestation, however you want to call it, like the law of attraction, but in a good way, in a way that you're not just sitting there waiting for the universe to bring it to you, but actually being proactive mentally. And this is the hard work, if you like, not the outside one, because we won't be able to do jobs like we used to do anyway. No, so we need to find ways, and dignify all this, and actually find a reason, find a purpose. There is a reason why we've been through this hell. There is a reason why we're going through all these things. Once you find it, and then like this comes the second part of the healing, where you actually have to apply it and find a way to live that resonates and doesn't make you sick, where you have the right support place and everything. This is bloody hard because you forgot you were in survival for so long. So try to do this like daily, constantly imagine all these things, whether if you are in the hell phase where you're surviving, or in this phase where you need to rebuild everything but in a different way so you don't collapse. So yeah, and remember that you have to actually feel it, and you have to act in the physical world, even though might be in a slow motion situation, but this is how you bring this reality, this dream life, or actually the life that you deserve. Is not a dream life, is actually the life that you deserve and that you need to maintain a healthy lifestyle, to maintain your health and to live. So to anyone that's already been through this phase and they made it, do not don't you think that a lot of this disease in a, let's say, spiritual teaching, in an inside job, is it was teaching this all along. Like, that's what I realize, no, especially with the nervous system, because you're constantly in a panic mode trying to sort out things because you actually depend on these things. And this makes you fearful, or it's normal. Your nervous system was on fire, therefore you just flare with instability and all these things. But once you learn to do this, and then later on, if you have the right support and things, you apply all these things to build a new lifestyle. I guess that's when you understand why you were probably a decade sick and why you went through all this hell. Because understanding this and understanding reality has a lot to do with healing Lyme disease, autoimmune disease, whatever the hell it is. So, yeah, just random thoughts that came in the morning. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.